Shamelessly Arguing with Vegans is a free book that I have authored, which you can download from earthhealingnetwork.com and share with both vegans and non-vegans. Vegans because it inspires us to go and conduct some outreach, to talk to people and to try to shift behavior patterns, the ways of thinking around animals being treated as food or as commodities. And with non-vegans, we can share this when we want to explain that all their arguments are circular and meaningless, and debunk each and every one of them. It's a vital tool for activism and it's yours for free. Now, before I open a random page to select the argument for the day, just like bibliomancy, which is an ancient technique of divination in which you just select a page for a day for the message for the day, I will first take some messages from the tarot cards. I'll try to select one card and see what comes up. Wow, this is a card of travel, adventure, optimism, a feeling of courage. So we are all vegan warriors, aren't we? We go, we travel, we go on events, outreach. I went today to an exciting activism event in London. It was more of a street march and I really enjoyed it. I think it was a great opportunity to create awareness about the plight of animals. So we are rebels, we are courageous soldiers out on a mission, just like this knight. We are the knights in shining armor for these animals. And the inspiring message of this card for us is that go outside, go there, go to places that are new even, go to other cities even if you can travel, and keep carrying your message to the masses. It's a strong sign that victory is ours, but more important than victory is the fact that we tried and we did the best that we could do, and we didn't just sit there doing nothing. Now I'll select a random page today. Let me see which argument comes up. Why don't you focus on human causes? Look, the human exploitation. If you're against exploitation, talk about the exploitation of humans, such as women exploited in cashew farms in India, or the way laborers are exploited in clothing industries in certain countries or shoes. Why do you want to focus on animals first? First solve the problems of human exploitation. We are more important, isn't it? Now that's an argument number 96 that is found in this book with the explanation. So there are totally 150 arguments and today's was 96. So what is it that we are highlighting here? Exploitation. Yes, I know that humans are also one race of animals, one of the species of the millions of animal species. Now, what we're really highlighting is a very big crime, which is uncrimed illegalities in several or most cities in the world. In fact, hardly anybody recognizes it as a crime. It's unnecessary murder of animals. You are killed. You're not just dying naturally as an animal does. And that too after terrible abuse. The abuse happens gradually, systematically, and horrifically. Not just that, every year this happens in increasing numbers. So I remember that 2 years ago the number was about 50 to 60 billion per annum of land animals, and then it's increased to 70 and approximately 80 billion. That's a lot, don't you think? And the number increases every year just for food. And the number of animals exploited every year on land alone is a lot more than that. So when we're talking about exploitation, we also mean their murder, their systematic sexual abuse to make them produce babies that are killed, babies after babies are produced and then killed. This is called farming. That's the meaning of the term animal farming. Do you think that humans are being killed and sold as food around? Are we sold and traded like commodities around us, in the shops, in supermarkets? I don't think so. So the level of violence we're talking about when it comes to human violence, even if a human being is harassed a little bit by somebody, someone just said something you didn't like, called you a couple of times more than you wanted, you can actually go to the police. You can file a case against them and say, well, arrest them. You know that it's a crime to abuse a human even a little bit. Even if you by mistake hit them, they can crime it. They can give evidence against you. So think about it. What is happening to the animals is not even considered a crime. They're not even considered citizens, people. They are just treated as slaves and as things. They have absolutely no rights. Imagine not having the right to live. Every human being on earth today has human rights, and that includes the right to live, the right to health, personal freedom, your own choices to be respected in life, to be treated fairly. Where are the other animals given any such rights? Have you seen a charter of animal rights at the United Nations? At the max, you see 5 freedoms, which just lie to us that the animals are getting space and freedoms that they deserve. They aren't. They are not. You cannot do that when you have so much of demand for animal products created all around in the media, in the system, and by the government. The government actually mandates that schools serve children dairy and meat. Dairy every day, meat thrice a day in my country, UK. So where is the sense here? They are just creating so much of demand and subsidizing these industries so highly that what's happening is that you cannot have them living in free-range organic farms. And even if you had some animals farmed in a nice way, which humans call nice, which is actually not nice because they're still being controlled. It's a crime. They're still being controlled. They're still being enslaved. They will go to the slaughterhouse and be killed, and they are bred for that purpose. So you could call it rape, you could call it murder. It's not crime. Is it all right to do that to humans? Absolutely not. If you say that you give somebody a good life and kill them, like we all know Jeffrey Dahmer, these aren't human being behavior. These aren't human beings. These are monsters and demons and complete psychopaths. So why are we being psychopaths when it comes to animals? Aren't we supposed to be more human and be more highly developed? So yeah, what vegans are pointing out is this very big crime which is not even recognized. And if we don't do that, who will? This doesn't mean that we don't care about any other causes. We do. I work in a charity which looks after elderly. So yeah, I work, I give my best to it. And I also do animal rights activism. I'm also an author for spiritual books. And I also am an oracle and a medium. So I don't really understand how one can assume that vegans don't care about human causes. We are. We are against all forms of exploitation and abuse, whether it comes to humans or animals. But the fact is that the reason why our activism is focused on the animals is because that's what we are do. That's what we're here for. Someone has to be a voice of the animals, because they're not going to be able to get the right to vote in elections, are they? They're not taxpayers. They pay with their life. They don't get paid for giving you food or entertainment or clothing or anything that you want from them. They are meat slaves. And these industries, they're profiteering billions and trillions of dollars. So that is why it's not called a crime, because it's a horrific industry built on fooling you and me. Yes, we are fools. And therefore, when we are being activists and opening people's eyes and showing them the truth, we are actually helping humans also. At least we are raising awareness, expanding consciousness. What could be better than that? Human world needs to know the truth. We need to know how the industries are abusing us, how the governments are abusing us, fooling us, and making us generally desensitized in an immoral society in which we are also exploited. And because we are so insensitive to exploitation, we kind of take it for granted for them. And slowly, we sort of agree that we should allow ourselves to be exploited to a great extent too. More important is that humans suffer greatly due to animal farming and animal exploitation industries, because they cause pandemics, they cause deadly diseases, not just germs, but all kinds of cancers are linked to it. Heart diseases are linked to it. Arthritis, Parkinson's, schizophrenia is linked to it. We don't know about these things, and I've written a very detailed article about a number of diseases by reading hundreds of scientific studies. I've done a lot of research on this, and it's just eye-opening. Human liberation, animal liberation are interlinked. We deserve a healthier, happier planet. And what about climate change? What about the poverty, hunger, the pollution, the destruction of our ecosystem caused by this ugly industry of animal farming and agriculture? Don't we deserve to know the truth? Don't we deserve to decide our own future and the future of our children? Think about it. So yeah, when it comes to going and talking to vegans, don't say, why don't you care about other causes? Would you do the same if someone were talking about women's abuse or child abuse? You wouldn't. So let's give some respect to this very, very urgent, important mission. Thank you.